Good evening, chat. Welcome back to the final week of the regular season of ETF2L Season 50 AFS. Whatever else funky names you want to think of for them. Either way, it's the final week of the regular season, which is weird to say because usually these are a little bit longer, right? But hey, here we are. It's going to be an interesting match tonight because it is going to be my project versus Nunya on the other side. I almost forgot the team name for a second. Because this match actually has some playoff implications. Both of these teams can still make playoffs. I think my project is probably the only team that pretty much has it in the bag. They could theoretically lose it, but they won't. Anyway, before I get over myself, I'm Cerny, joined by Samus on production and Anti on the mic. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, thank you. I was looking forward to seeing how a couple of my favorite TF2 teams, the Witnesses, the Mandems, the Forfents, how they're doing in their summer. But it turns out they've been on holiday a little bit. So I guess we've got some interesting new talent, or I guess in the ways of Nunya, old talent. So looking forward to seeing how they're doing.
It's a bit of a mix, I guess, right? Like there's definitely a lot of new talent in Prem this season, right? We had the Demo Knight team, for instance, who are unfortunately out of this playoffs race, this supposed playoffs race. So there's a little bit of that. There's a lot of mixing going on. We still have some of the Mandem squad, sticking around as well. But for this match specifically, it is going to be Nunya versus my project. My project basically securing themselves a playoff spot, right? They are first in the table right now. And the only way, according to Ben and his massive brain, that they're not making playoffs is if they lose this 6-0, and then the other match between Nandem and Chirachi ties. It's going to be the only feasible way that my project somehow doesn't make playoffs. Now, do we think that's going to happen? I don't know. I feel like, looking at the tables right now, right, Nunya should be the worst team here. What do you think, Antti?
I think, well, it's TF2, so anything can happen. A couple of these players can turn up, a couple of these players probably won't. But I think for my project, they're probably as comfortable as they can be. Surely this is something where they can look straight into playoffs. For Nunya, I think potentially getting a couple of points could be definitely a possibility in this game. Even getting something like 2 or even 3 would be massive for them. And I think even reading what Ben was saying, even not getting a massive amount of points this game means that maybe there are interesting things to happen, and it's not just a straight off, this is what's happening in playoffs situation.
Yeah, like, the only way Nunya has a chance at still getting playoffs is if they win a map, at least. Like, if they win a map outright with 3 points, it puts them in a decent position. If they win in a golden cap and get 2 points, and Nandem then gets 0 points in their match against the Czechs, they would be tied on the table, and I think the tiebreaker in that case might actually favor Nunya, of all things, if that were to be the case, in which case they would make it. So, like, if Nunya can grab themselves at least 2 points, they are in the running. They're still at the mercy of Nandem not getting any points, but if that happens, hey, there's a chance, right? Other than that, they need to have quite a bit of a show tonight if they want to have a chance at making it. Which, well, if my project want to grief their competitors, I guess there's a good chance for them to do that, right? If they want to just grief Nandem and be like, hey, we're gonna make it harder for you guys, we're just gonna throw this match. Who knows, right? Could be fun as well.
There's a couple of names in this game that might be tempted to do something funny like that, but I don't think anyone's gonna be particularly keen on doing something. Both teams, I think, have both drew to Nandem in previous games before. One of the maps we're playing tonight, Product, is actually one that Nunya have already lost. So I think all eyes on Nunya performing would be on this map, which is Snakewater.
Indeed, it's gonna be an interesting one because I actually haven't seen a single Nunya match all season. I just haven't gotten around to watching any of them. I've only seen my project, and they've been looking solid, even when they were missing their brain for a while, right? Dowie wasn't present for a few of the matches, but he is back now, and they've looked even stronger with him around, right? So, like, clearly he's been having an impact on it. Either way, the teams are getting started. They want a game. They're keen. They want to actually get it on the road with Snakewater. first match of the night, first map, first round. We'll see how it goes as the mid fight unfolds before our very eyes. Shappy a little bit faster to the mid, a little bit of early spam, but it's a slow Snake mid. This is just how these go. Team's being a little careful, peeking and prodding, nobody committing just yet, no big bombs across or anything either. Both of these teams just taking it easy, taking it slow for the time being, and really nobody actually committing much. There might be a bit of pressure onto the demo there, but no, it's not happening. Bud finally going for a bomb deep in directly onto the combo. Cleans up Jordy with it. That's a decent start. Opens things up a little bit for the rest of his team to maybe follow up as well, and certainly puts my project on the back foot here as well. Yeah, they lose ALX. That's the demo out of the equation, but still in there as well. Finds KN. That's a 1 mid for Nunya.
Yeah, really nice pressure from Nunya there, just like getting a lot of ground and pushing my project out. Maybe they're still just not quite successful in this, but looking like this is getting a lot of room here. Nunya getting a lot of ground, potentially pressuring, trying to force something out. Removes the sentry there. We've got a sneaky little soldier in this left-hand side. He's got his bow. Can we see anything onto Doey here? No, I think.
No. Gotta take it
walking
slow.
out.
Doey lived, so it is going to be equal Ubers. It's going to be a last stalemate on Snakewater. Notoriously very, very difficult to break through, but Nunya certainly have a little bit of time to work with. They have some things they can potentially try out if they so desire, and, well, Shappy being dead obviously slowed down things a little bit as well, right, if they wanted to get in. So they're going to have to take this the old-fashioned slow approach, and they're going to try to go with that loopy sniper, which AF spy checking means they're aware of that. They know that sniper is going to be in play on the side of my project, and a counter sniping immediately as well, after picking up the rifle. So this is going to be an interesting one. It's going to boil down to which sniper can get the better here, and then also get an angle afterwards to actually do something with their life.
Yeah, Snakewater at this point, it seems pretty difficult to push out and get something special onto the medic here. So all really going on to this sniper v sniper. Loopy, fairly successful sniper, as well as AF2. Both expect some pretty nice shots, so let's see who's feeling extra special on the server today. Loopy peeking out, seeing if he can find a soldier.
Okay. 150 on the soldier. I mean, it's something, but it also advertises position, and unfortunately for Gigi, that's not going to work. You're just going to get juggled right there. Jordy, man, in fact, uses the opportunity to push forward a little bit and lower here. Get that sniper out of the equation. Maybe, well, at least get him pushed out for a little bit, right? And that's a deep peek for AF on the other side, but can't quite find anybody to shoot at. Nunya aware of the dangers they are facing here, so they got to be careful with this as well, because it can go the other way as well, right? Oof. Like Bud getting picked up like that, for instance, makes it very hard to really open things up for you, and now you have to worry because that sniper could go for something deeper. You need to really watch out. You can't have, don't have as many people watching doors, you know? It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, Bud kind of walking into a bit of a sniper sideline there, and justly getting punished. Not much pushing out attempting by my product, but it's Snakewater. You're not really gonna see much of a push out unless all of Red decide they want to press their kill binds, which I don't see happening very soon. Conduct's on the team, I guess.
Ooh, okay. Nice little headshot there onto the soldier. Loopy opening things up a little bit on his right side. Matter of fact, going for the deep peek as well. Finds AF though. Has to take care of that sniper first. Won't get the shot. He's getting flinched, and there you go. That's the duel finally won for AF. He's actually on a little bit of a kill streak himself. That opens things up as well. Jordy going into lobby immediately. Again, they're not going to push out on this, obviously. It's Snakewater last, as you mentioned, but gives them a bit of breathing room here. And I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if this is just going to go the way that Snakewater lasts tend to go. To the round reset, they're playing for it. Nunya not really finding the things they need to open this up. They're opting to have Loopy go back on the scout, so an exchange may be on the cards sooner rather than later. They might as well do something. They only got 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, with that sniper, they were getting a little bit boxed in, and now they've got two soldiers going for the oh, okay, that didn't go too well, and it got worse.
Look, the soldiers, they got mulched by the sentry. It happens, but Shappy, that's just very unfortunate. Tries to walk in, gets immediately sticky trapped. And again, my project, even off the back of those 3 picks, actually putting a little bit of pressure out there. Condog eats a lot of damage and walks into sniper sight lines like they're nothing. He's lucky that AF didn't hit anything there, but my project are not pushing out. They're not pushing on this at all. They're not willing to take the risk. KN even dies a little bit for his overextension. Nunya are aggressive enough to keep up that pressure, keep themselves in this on second, know that they have an opportunity now to take this into last as well. With KN down means there's a bit of firepower missing. Uber guys come out, exchange underway and lower, but all they really find is the sentry. It's going to be in this post-Uber fight if they have to make anything happen with it. And well, finding Jordy Trades out a soldier for the soldier that's respawning now, but it is still an advantage nonetheless. Now they have to make it happen though. Will they get this little cap time going? Here it is. That's gonna make the okay. I'm gonna eat my words. They just stand on the point. Turns out nobody on my project was able to get to that point ever. So fair enough. They just win off of that.
That's just pure Condog's aura. Just walk into a sniper sight line, scare their whole team into just running back at last. Then you just get the point. Capping the point is probably the easiest way of winning a game of TF2.
That's a curious one, because I feel like they could have just capped second. I guess they really wanted to go for the round reset, but oh well. Anyway, next mid-fight underway. Take it away.
Yeah, Chappie getting there good amount of time. He's got a lot of pressure, actually. Getting some space as we get the normal posturing that you tend to get on Snakewater, waiting for someone's soldiers to decide to go on a 30 damage piece of rocket. But right now we can stay. Oh, GG taking some high ground, thinking about something, but nothing yet. Maybe Jordy will decide to go at this point. A little bit.
Faking it out. Lots of damage here onto Bud. Might open things up a little bit. He's out of the equation for well. Both scouts as well on Nunya. Eating a lot. Eventually the pressure from my project seems to be converging here. Everybody on Nunya just kind of pressured into the saw area. They don't really have a lot of space to work with. Eventually the Ubers both come out as well, as both medics just get theirs in time. Two players traded out either side. A bit better in terms of the overall damage output probably. And momentum here for Nunya at the end of the day though. Not lacking both of their soldiers. Still gonna be a bit of a scrappy, drawn-out fight. Both teams just trading, eventually finding some frags. Varno will fall, and that might just open things up for Nunya here to finally get some pressure going. They just gotta deal with this combo across the point if they want to. But the respawners are coming in as well. Doe eats a lot of damage from my project, so I have to back off. It's such a long, drawn-out mid-fight. Nobody's capped yet. Both teams have already used an Uber, and it just keeps going. Two players dead again for my project. Now it's just a matter of time if Nunya can close it out off the back of that, and they finally will. But that took forever.
Oh, they finally do it. That seemed like both teams trying to push, maybe pushing a little bit too hard, getting punished for it, and then the team pushing a little bit too hard in return. But finally, Nunya, they take their spawners. They start to walk into lobby. They can see what they get. Early soldier aggression here, both of them going in. Big bomb onto the gun. Doesn't quite get anything.
Nothing at all. They didn't even get the gun for that matter. They got absolutely nothing with it, and that's just unfortunate. I mean, at the end of the day, they're still the ones pushing to last an upper round already as well, right? The ball is in my project's court as they try to respond with something. KN gets in deep behind, but gets spotted out as well. The only thing they traded that soldier for is basically Shappy, which might slow things down a little bit. A little bit of damage here to Connor as well means the exchange may very well be underway soon. There you go, finally uses it. Oxy gonna have to just try and find anything with it, as the back cap is already underway on Last as well. Loopy does sneak through. Varno cleans that up though in the meantime, and it looks like in this post-Uber fight, there's a team very much so coming out on top, and its name is my project, unless Shappy can have a word with it, but he is in no position to do anything. He's just going to sit on mid, and it's going to be a second retake.
A little bit ambitious from Nunya there, trying to walk all the way into last. They had a bit of a back cap going, I think, but all got to nothing. Medic dies, and now it looks like my project happily taking mid. Bit of an Uber advantage, but no Uber yet. Soldier jumping into the medic. Can't quite get anything. I think this might just be my project taking this mid fight. Both soldiers definitely. Oh, what a shot onto Varno.
Nasty one. Another little follow-up here onto Jordy as well. Loopy pick up the sniper in an unexpected time. Unfortunately, we'll have to pay his life eventually. Kane also cleaning up Condog, and they're just getting mulched in that saw area. Again, overstaying their welcome a little bit too much on the side of Nunya, getting punished for it as well, but the only one trying to hold down the fort here, and well, there's not much you can do as a sole soldier against what is basically a full team, plus Respawn is now coming in as well. If he escapes good enough, he's probably going to get blocked here on second though. That's the end of your story. Maybe bought a little bit of time for his team to set up on last, but it's going to be a last hold for the ages for Nunya, because they got no Uber, and my project are keen to take this in as fast as they can.
Yeah, surely one Uber versus no Uber. The one Uber normally ends up on top unless something goes wrong. Although it is Snakewater, Uber comes in onto the right side, gun immediately down. Now we can look at the point. The heavy comes out, nobody looking at this right-hand spawn, and this is a little bit problematic for my project. But heavy going down, a couple of players on the point, and
worked out.
Yeah,
it worked out. Turns out Alex just does just enough damage to keep people locked up on that right side. Nice little pipe onto Connor as well. Makes sure that, you know, no extra heals being churned out onto the people on the point, and they can't block enough. There you go. 1-0. They bring it back. We're only 10 minutes in. 2 rounds in 10 minutes on Snakewater. That's actually surprisingly a lot in the modern day of TF2. And we're on to the next round straight away off the back of that. My project find themselves back into this. Now it's going to be to Nunya to get back as well. They were a bit slow, looking a bit, you know, still lacking a bit of that momentum that they really need here. And my project was solid so far. Oh, the mid fight, as per usual, slow and steady, wins the race. A little bit of aggression majority. Scout maybe getting caught here. Nope, it's going to be Bud the first to fall, as everybody else just kind of shuffles on back around. Loopy's in behind as well, but they're well aware of his position, so he's not going to do that much yet, and that's actually putting Nunya at a bit of a disadvantage here. 2 players in behind is nice. Unfortunately, neither of them really accomplish much as they just get cleaned up by Jordy, and it's a 1 mid for my project.
Yeah, a little bit ambitious from Nunya, losing a soldier so early on and then sending 2 people behind. I think they really began to realize that it wasn't going to go well and started leaving, which left 2 players behind up a creek without a paddle, so to say. And that's my project looking to convert this, walking into the last here.
Keeping it under control though. They lose the sentry, but they do frag both of those soldiers. My project without those, not going to be able to do that much. And crucially as well in that mid, as bad as it was for Nunya, Condog lived.
We have a Frenchman.
They now have a Frenchman. That's a stab onto the demo. The medic left completely out of zone. And then follow up by Bud to get that medic cleaned up. That's exactly what they need to have a chance to get back out at this. Unfortunately for them, AF is also on a back
scout on the back.
Nobody's there to block him, but they find the one person that needs to kill him with Loopy, and they get the second stacked as well. They kill everybody on top of it. This is a nice opportunity for Nunya to do some nice coast to coast in here. They can probably get all the way to second off the back of this. Matter of fact, they have a full Uber. They can probably go all the way to last.
Let's see if there's any shenanigans into this forward spawn. We do have a sniper. We have a spy as well. We've got full entree and dessert on this, but they're going to circumvent this. They're just going to go straight around. Oh no, Shappy.
Shappy gets caught off guard by the classic sniper anyway. You could have done it with a normal rifle, but whatever. Loopy gets stabbed as well by Jordy. I'm watching a pub at this point. Where are my 6s classes? This is absurd. It's good enough though for Nunya to get second, and even if they have to slow down now, they didn't quite get it all the way to last. They didn't lose anything too crucial, right? They got slowed down a bit by it, sure. As a matter of fact, the headshot and stab combo probably saving themselves a lot of time here, and Condog is very ambitious getting into last that deeply, surfing around, unfortunately dying eventually. That might turn the tables for my project here again. Sure, they're still on last, they're still down 2 players as well. Pushing out isn't going to be the easiest thing, but they've been in this position before and then lost, but still, they know they're comfortable here. This is their home ground. This is where they like to be. This is their good position.
A little bit of carnage there. Nunya may be a little bit lost in it, trying to go, maybe stopping and healing a little bit would have been a better decision, but no. Uber comes out, nice bomb in there by GG.
Nice.
It looks like they're not really going to get much apart from this point. Another soldier in the backline might be dying.
Shappy's just does so much damage. Unfortunately, there's nobody else there to follow it up for him, and he just has to end up paying with his life anyway, as Avoxy is there trying to maybe escort his medic out. We'll do a good job protecting Condog for now. We'll get him out of harm's way, but there's a lot more to come, and Connor's not particularly healthy right now. That guy's under a lot of pressure. Does win against Varnu as well, and the rest of the team are chasing him. They want him so bad for what he just did, and it's not going to happen. Connor somehow escapes as well, slippery as ever. And it's going to be a slight ad for the side of Nunya for the time being. Matter of fact, it's probably not much to write home about, but it might be enough to get them to move quickly into second here. They're still down a player on the side with Varnu just now spawning. So maybe the second is actually still a fight.
Yeah, Soldier going behind, trying to distract a little bit. Bob jumps in. Uber's trading out right now. Red having to flash a little bit, but this looks a little bit more certain for Nunya. Soldier a little bit stuck in no man's land right now. We'll try and hit some very difficult shots, but no, KN took down right now, and I think this might be a converted round to Nunya walking into this left side.
It's a hard one to lose at this point. No medic, no heals, nothing to worry about. Not even a sentry gun. The heavy, pretty much the only really tanky target, putting themselves between this round win. And even if they can't convert it right now and have to give my project a bit of time to set up, it's still a fat Uber ad to work with, right? 50% is still a lot to go off of. They built this fast. And even more, right? They have a nice opportunity to really take this in. And they convert themselves another round here, get themselves in the lead again inside of Nunya with about half the map time to go as well. It's certainly a nice lead to have. So we'll see how this Uber goes as they're going for the shutter.
Uber coming out straight onto the sentry gun. Starts facing this left-hand spawn, getting a decent amount of time on point to start with, but this heavy keeps on staying alive, pressuring point one more time. But it's a little bit of a collapse. Nunya not having the best post-fight here, and that heavy, he's kept on revving up. He's still spinning, and that's going to be a problem.
All it took was maybe a little bit more focus there on the heavy. Heavy ate so much damage, right? Like, was into like 100 health or something like that after Shappy just nuked him. But it just wasn't enough, not enough follow-up. Everybody else just kind of scrambling around a bit, and Nunya not quite converting that one. Now opting for the spy play out of Bud. Seeing if that can maybe turn the tables here a little bit. My project keenly aware of what's coming their way. Spy checking all across the board. AF on the sniper as well. It's going to be on this spy this Bud spy play working out the way it's intended to. Certainly slips in deep very quickly as well. Unfortunately, he does not have a disguise. I think he might have forgotten where the disguise kit is on his keyboard and didn't disguise try to do anything. I guess he went for the cap, but that wasn't going to happen either.
He went for the back cap, but level 1 sentries, those things have hands. Well, not literally, but it didn't go too well for Nunya here. It was a good attempt at least, and now I think we're going to be stuck again on Snakewater last, my favorite place in the world.
I love it here. The scenery is so nice. It's very scenic. It's like just nice nature beyond the fence and all that. I'm sure people love admiring it. Equal Uber situation as well, meaning there's, no need to make any movements here. We are looking at 2.5 minutes of more of this. After maybe trying to pick a soldier out of the sky, it's going to happen with Varnu instead, cleaning up both of those. One by the sentry, one by the gun. And trying to follow up, does a lot of damage to Kondog. Actually, Kondog finds himself in a bit of a harm's way here. A little bit of pressure coming out. Varnu doing a lot with those Frontier Justice crits before finally backing out and giving a lot of room to the soldiers as well. Jordy eventually gets caught for it, and well, it might have been a bit too ambitious even for my project to send out 2 of them. One of the soldiers is going to be back in time before Loopy gets there, but they're still going to be down 1. And the Uber is going to come in straight away.
Straight onto that sentry down, but nothing else to show. Doey a little bit low, but no, Shappy, he gets stuck. Unfortunate by him, and I think this is going to halt any attempts of aggression from Nunya while their demo man respawns. I don't think my project are going to be particularly interested in pushing out. They've been so safe on last. Why would you leave this warm, comfortable place?
It's just scary up there. It's a scary world, you know? Well, we're going to be... Refill your popcorn, lads. If you even like that one, you'll love the next one as well, because I think we're going to see a little bit more of this. Ubers are still equal. It's still very much likely that we're going to see one more exchange. Actually, a lot of damage. Bud just waltzes on forward on the left side here. He gets so much of his waddling. Turns out if you can't jump, you can just walk right in. Well, buttload of damage to that demo. Eventually, maybe even get him taken down. Eventually, there you go. ALX does get killed. That opens things up a lot for Nunya here before the Ubers are even popped at all. Finally, they get popped out of the side of Doey. Kondog obviously responding a lot later. A little damage onto the heavy. He just has to retreat for a while. And with Kayan dead as well as Jordy dead, it might actually be a good chance for Nunya to convert now. They have to get that cap time on the point, and there you go. Pull people on, clean them up. They get it off the back of that. Beautiful play off the back of just that pressure on the left side. They just get away with so much. ALX not watching that side, letting the players in, and paying dearly in the tail end of it.
Yeah, just walking in worked so well there. So much damage being done. And then Voxtech, he had a hell of a trade there. He got so much time on point, forced the Uber out. They waited quite a while and then let rip a scout in the middle of a team, and it was absolute carnage.
And here we are.
Mid-fight, number 4.
Let's see how this one goes. Nunya haven't been looking perfectly solid on these yet so far, and yet they still ended up winning 2 of them at some point, so we'll see how they perform this time around. Again, both teams being rather careful, no early aggression, no fast fast and loose plays here, everything very calculated, trying to work off the damage. Eventually some aggression by my project across the point here as they trade out GG4. Jordy, a 1-1, but they find Bud as well, and Kondok so low means that they're out of the position completely for Nunya. No heals for a little while as he has to reposition. Shappy completely disconnected from his combo, having to just wait for the ability to heal up eventually, and the Ubers are both in play again as this mid-fight just drags on for so long. And still in this post-Uber fight, I don't know who I'm gonna favor here. Positioning-wise, it's certainly looking like Nunya might be a little bit on the upper hand here, but they don't have much to work with just yet. They still gotta get some through a lot of players on my project, and we might just be on the cards for mid-fight number 2 here, as we just hit the great reset button. Everybody's back alive, no Ubers in play, and it's just another mid-fight.
At the moment, I have no idea how this one's going, so just jumping in. It seems my project want to take this aggression, counter-aggression. Joey drops. Now it looks very firmly into the hands of Nunya. Can they protect their medic? Kondog sent into the air and he goes down too. But at the end, Nunya managing to take this. They will lose their medic and there will be a little bit of disadvantage for them. But they seem like this is a pretty good result for them. 8-9 minutes left into this round and they have the lead and they have this mid.
Yeah, this is a decent start for them nonetheless. ALX basically saving my project there with a beautiful pipe, sneaks right in, does enough damage to clean up Connor. Also, Dowie opting for the crit streak here. Certainly a good timing for it. You're already gonna have ad anyway, and now you have a chance to catch Nunya off guard. Now, unfortunately, you're using Connor's own tools against him. I'm sure he's gonna at least have a chance to see this one coming. They know that they're already at a disad, they know that there might be some sort of shenanigans, and well, they are holding close, and all it takes is one sticky to ruin the day on Nunya here. As the crits come out, they don't find their target just yet though. They don't find anything, matter of fact. They lose Jordy and ALX and AF as well, only for Bud traded out is a shambolic crits that finds nothing, and now, not only do they not have anything to respond to this Uber with, they're 3 players down. They have to go to last.
Oh, what a disaster. I think it was definitely in on my project to make the first move, but it just ends as badly as it could get. Dory's still up means that you've got a crit screen coming in soon, but what good are crit stickies against invincible players? Uber coming through on this right side, Nunya buffed up. Can they make it 3-1? This would definitely be almost end to this map if they can achieve that. Straight onto this sentry, it goes down as the team goes into this left side. Laser beams coming out, but they're all dead. Nunya taking this left side. Now can they just get some time on point? Players just going down so quickly and they take this 3-1 then.
Yeah, hard to make the crits work when everybody you're shooting at is invincible to damage, and you can just get mulched down instead. 3-1 now for the side of Nunya with 7 minutes on the clock. It's certainly feasible to get 2 rounds in that time, but my project really have to pick up the pace here. They have been playing very slow, very methodically so far, and it's been biting them a little bit. We've had 2 mid-fights back-to-back now that were effectively, well, 2 mid-fights in one, and it eventually just kind of favored Nunya in these long, drawn-out fights, so if that's going to be another mid-fight like that, then Nunya might be in the upper hand again. With that little time and 2 rounds separating them from a golden cap, my project really have to start picking up the pace. And that might be exactly what they're doing here with this mid-fight. Both soldiers in deep already. Connor the first to fall, but they pay with 2 players of their own immediately. Make it 3 as Jordy gets cleaned up as well. Alex also not particularly healthy, and that's the rest of the team following up for Nunya here. As it's only Varnu trying to protect his soul medic somehow, some way. With 4 players chasing them down. They're getting there slowly but surely, but Doey's still escaping for the time being. Will he be able to hold off the scout as well? It's Voxy that he's going up against the no. Can't hold him off. Will eventually clean that up, and that's such a late death for Doey. This is actually going to be a huge ad for Connor.
Oh, what a disaster. Doey trying his best. What a surf to try and get out there, but Voxy, he had his number the whole time. This is pretty much the worst situation that could happen for my project. Not only do they lose the mid, they lose their medic, and massive disadvantage on their side. Nunya almost need to do nothing to win this map.
Yeah, if they really want to, he could just park now and probably be fine, but Varner's gonna have a word with that. Go into spy immediately. Unfortunately gets spotted. A bit too ambitious on the decloak perhaps. Unfortunate timing. Scout did turn around and will spot that one out, so no equalizer there. Condog is gonna get that Uber, and they're gonna use it into last as well from lower, it seems, this time around. Again, Nunya opting for this play, trying to get straight into the point here. Left side deep in, straight away. That's the demo taken out of the equation already. That's gonna make it so much easier to get onto this point, get some cap time down there. There's a heavy in play as well. He's gonna be very tanky, and that Uber is slowly but surely coming up for Dowie as well. If Nunya can't find any frags, and if they're slowly bleeding their own players, and they just can't find the focus on this heavy, is just mulching everybody. It's only a soul medic left with Condog, and he's fighting for his life, but does eventually get cleaned up.
Oh, that heavy staying alive so long was so crucial to not losing this. Nunya, maybe they wish they parked the bus here. 4 minutes left, I'm not sure. I think it might be possible, but everything needs to go right for my project to take this one into overtime. Right now, taking mid fairly comfortably, not much attack done by Nunya. They know that all they need to do is just not fold and maybe waste as much time as possible, and this map is in the bag for them.
The crits on Condor. That's a big body shot onto Dowie. It wasn't fully charged though. If it was, that would have immediately turned things around. Still, it's enough to make him pop. That's the Uber out of the equation for my project now. Even if they were gonna have a crits this at, it doesn't matter. Condog still lives. That's the sniper out of the equation, but that's all they really find. Bud, if his bomb managed to accomplish enough, the pressure is there, and now they just have to hold this last for a little while, but they're already down 3 players. They can't get to the point in time. Turns out you just have enough momentum. My project bring back around, they claw it, and they use about half the time they had available, so the second half may very well convert another round if they can keep this up.
Oh, it was a disaster for Nunya there. They tried, pretty much did what they had to do. They got that Uber out very well, but then the team just scattered and positioning wasn't the best and just led my project to walking straight onto the point. Now, can they get a mid like they did last time? They need something just like they had before. Will Nunya be able to achieve this? Scout on the top, getting some nice positioning here before the soldiers start their dance. But for now, it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a more drawn out mid, just pure posturing at this point.
My project can't really afford to do this. They don't have that much time. And anything that they're bleeding away by just waiting for Ubers on mid, it's so unorthodox. I've seen it so rarely that these mid fights go on for long enough that both mates get their Uber, and it's happened 3 times now in this map alone. It's certainly not something common. That's a lot of damage eventually onto everybody there on my project. Connor not having to use a cross yet either though with that pressure onto him. Varner the first to fall eventually. Finally, the cherries popped on the first death here as Bud gets traded out for KN. And it looks like a 1 mid for Nunya, at least for the time being. Finally, the Ubers are exchanged. It's a lot better for Condog, but he's also not really connected to much of his team. Has to flash a lot. It's gonna fade around the same time. Now it's gonna be on how Af and his medic can go against the world. Jordy's there to follow him up a little bit as well. They have the pressure. They do find a frag onto Boxy, but that's it, man. They lost Owie, they lost Jordy. There goes Af as well. It's just not really all they need. Sure, they got Condog as a consolation prize, but with that time bleeding away, 2 minutes left on the clock, and my project still scrappily fighting for this mid that they clearly have to concede at this point, it's just not gonna favor them at all.
Yeah, that Uber ended up with a scout and a medic and a little bit of no man's land there, surrounded by red players. They tried their best. They did get Condog down, which is massive, but a lot of players lost their lives, and it ended with my project losing that mid onto Crits Creek now. A little bit of desperation. 1 minute 30 left on the clock. They need probably the best crits that ALX has had in Prem, and they need to kill everybody, and then they need to run it to last. I think just about time for this, but this has to be so clean right now.
And Nunya aren't really in a position to eat a lot of that crits. Sure, they find one sticky out in there somewhere. Gigi gets cleaned up as well, but that's all they get off of it. They can't even flash onto the scout, and Nunya scatter as soon as they hear those lightning strikes coming out, so that wasn't going to amount to anything. Now Condog has a full Uber as well. They're just going to bounce back with this. It may very well be over at this point for my project. They simply cannot find anything. They have to keep holding the W key. They can't not afford to. But they just need to keep this going. Bud goes down. They trade him out for KN though. It's still not going all that well. And they still have to worry about that pocket Uber that Condog just has waiting on him. It doesn't even matter because as soon as they got on the point, they're just going to pop that Uber. And then there's no cap time being had. So it's a done deal for my project here. Now Uber comes out as well. It's going to be a massacre. There goes ALX immediately. Dowie eating the pressure now as well. They don't even have to go for the kill. It's just for show at this point.
Yeah, this is just over Nunya. What perfect positioning they're holding. Just no way for my project to walk in without everyone just dying in the Uber, forcing them away, kind of icing on the cake. They will lose quite a few people actually, but of course Volkswagen in the background is just going to kill Dory just for celebration. And Nunya, they win the first map and they make playoffs interesting.
There was actually like a slimmest of chances there that at the very tail end they could have still won the round. There was like if the round was like maybe 10 seconds longer, or if they didn't get blocked as much on second, there was a chance that those two players on last would have had a chance to convert the round. Unfortunately for my project though, just ran out of time. All they had to do really was lock in maybe half a minute earlier, right? Get going half a minute earlier somehow. Maybe find a better position for the crits. I know it's a crap shot, right? You don't know where the enemies are gonna be, how you're gonna hit the crits. It's all a bit of a gamble at the end of the day. A bit luckier on the crits could have turned things as well, but it shakes out. Didn't quite go the way it should have. And that's map 1 going the way of Nunya, putting themselves in a nice position for playoffs now. Matter of fact, this puts them at a very, very good position. If Nandom now get no points, they're out of the playoffs race. So Nunya doing everything in their power to keep themselves in this race. They're really trying to make sure that they earn their spot. And we can look at some numbers. There's some logs that will tell us things about this game, but immediately looking at the amount of damage that people have dealt, yeah, this was a Snakewater game.
This was indeed a Snakewater game. You can see nearly 50 deaths on the soldiers on each team. I think about 40 and 50. I'm not good at numbers, but yeah, it did seem a bit of a game where you throw things at a wall, you hope for the best. One team goes for an Uber push, goes absolutely nowhere. One team just goes, let's send a soldier in, and it somehow wins a round. But I think for the side of Nunya, they're just mistakes. The things that went wrong just went wrong a lot less than for the side of my project team. Just every time something went wrong, there was contingency. There was the opportunity to maybe you go back a point, or maybe you lose some Uber advantage, but you don't sort of lose the bank. Whereas for my project team, when things went wrong, they went wrong.
Yeah, I think it kind of shows in the general philosophies behind these teams as well, right? I think on my project you have a lot more individual playmakers, a lot more players that will have an individual impact from time to time, like Varno on last with the heavy many a time, right? Nunya really struggling to take him down, dishing out a lot of damage on that heavy. Af obviously again proving he's a phenomenal combo scout, right? Doing a lot of work there as well. Keeping him in this. Jordy still doing really well in the soldier in a match where soldiers were kind of just getting mulched left, right, and center, right? They're still putting down okay performances, but unfortunately the cohesion was just a little bit better for Nunya. They even if they struggle with the focus against the heavy specifically, beyond that, better cohesion. When things went awry, they stabilized more easily. They didn't stumble and start falling down the cliff, right? They found themselves somewhere, and it kind of just worked out for them off the back of that in the end. And it just kind of shows across the board, right? Lots of crits attempts out of Dowie as well. You gotta appreciate the ambition there out of the crit streak, but unfortunately they couldn't really convert any of them. I think the 4 crits they used got a total of like 2, maybe 3 kills. So, not all that.
Yeah, I think Condog, probably the grandfather of the crits. He knows how to play with them. He knows how to play against them. Maybe a little bit of unluckiness on them. A lot of situations where Demo turns around a corner with the crit sticky, faces a Demo or someone else in the combo, and just can't quite get that sticky to land, can't quite get those massive picks, and then the soldiers just turn around and mulch them. And if those went well, those at least went a little bit better. Maybe we could have seen a more convincing result for my project. But now they're on their map, they're on product. This is probably an opportunity for some of these players to really shine at these massive playmaking ability.
Yeah,
wouldn't you say?
Yeah, if there's a map for that, it's definitely gonna be product. Especially obviously favors your scouts, and across the board, there's a lot of scout talent here on both teams, mind you, right? You got obviously Af and Varnu holding it down on their side. I think cohesively, like together, maybe slightly stronger as a scout duo. I think individually, Boxy is probably the best scout on the server, right? But I think Loopy just can't quite match the level, right? I think like it's close, but I think if we're gonna have to give the edge to one duo, it's probably gonna be the My Project Scout duo. And that might be the thing that really matters here, right? At the end of the day, they're going to shut down your soldiers. You have a very capable guy who can play sniper on AF. Loopy probably maybe the better sniper. If you're going to bring out the sniper, you know, that might be the thing that spins it the other way again. Also, as you mentioned at the start of today's match, Nunya already lost this map. They didn't look convincing on this before, right? Maybe different situations, different teams, different strats, right? But they weren't necessarily very convincing on this before, so maybe they don't really know what they're doing. Who knows, right? I think this is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very open, because obviously on My Project, it's on them to make something happen here. But at the end of the day, they basically got their playoff spot secured, right? There's a very low chance that they don't make playoffs, even if they don't win this map. So they might just take it easy. They know what position they're in. They don't really have to worry too much. And even if they lose another 3 points here, not the biggest deal.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the big match where it all rides on this. I know that Nunya did lose this map before, but that was to Nandem. That's a team that both teams have lost maps to. So I'm not too concerned for Nunya. I think My Project should probably go into this feeling a lot more confident, but I'm not discounting Nunya. They seem to have had some pretty convincing gameplay so far. So I think really, although My Project seem to be the favorites going into this, I think potentially Voxtech has a good name, then this might just be a Nunya round.
Yeah, it's interesting. I imagine how funny it would be, right? Because like now with Nunya having the ability to make playoffs, and My Project pretty much secured that they're gonna make playoffs, how funny would it be if this results in Nandem not making playoffs? The team that both of these lost the map to, not actually making playoffs at the end of the day, because they just absolutely bottle it towards like against the Czechs tomorrow, or whenever their match is. It's on Sunday, I think. That would be quite something. But players are keen. Getting ready, getting started on product map 2. Map 1 taken by Nunya, and Varnu immediately rolling up with the classic to product. You love to see it. They are not taking this as seriously as they maybe should, but perhaps this is the exact X factor that they need to make something happen here immediately. Is he gonna get any shot off with this though? Nope, not quite finding anything just yet, and pressure coming onto the other side. It's gonna be My Project having to back off a bit. That's GG taking out of the equation, but it's traded out for Alex on the other side. 2 soldiers for a demo. Probably a decent trade. You've got some point pressure now as well coming out. Chappie, though, eventually gets cleaned up. Varnu is actually gonna be the one to claim that, and Loopy taken down as well means, even though the point goes away Nunya to begin with, My Project are immediately back to clap back, get it back in their own hands, and kill everybody for that matter on the side of Nunya.
Yeah, I think My Project may be taking this a little bit more seriously than we would have thought. In the game before this match, I did see Varnu using this sniper rifle before, so maybe some new tech, maybe old tech that he's been keeping around for a while, but it seems to be doing pretty effectively as they do collect first point capture, full Uber on them. They'll be pretty happy to keep it. Removing Nunya's demo man's always a good thing as the soldiers bomb. Nice shot there.
That's an achievement. Actually, really? No, it has to be a headshot. I think it has to be a headshot, but there's an achievement for headshotting a rocket jumping soldier with the classic no scope. That is one that you can get in the game. I wonder if I don't have to wonder. Varnu's definitely gotten that one. It's enough to keep My Project control here. Look at that. They're already down a minute on the clock. They're dealing with everything that Nunya's throwing at them. Now that Uber's finally going to be in play, it didn't even have to forward hold. It's still going to be buying a lot of time, and that's a dangerous sideline to walk into, man. Even if it's a classic sniper, you still got to worry about it. Flinching him isn't even going to do that much if he's just no-scoping, and they're just going to take that Uber straight across. Obviously, it's slightly better for Doe. He has to pop later, and maybe even flash a little bit less as well. Now they're keeping it both solo. It's going to be in this post-super fight now as players go flying all over the place. Gigi the first to fall on the side of Nunya. Very low, matter of fact, everybody is just so low. Kondok's probably already out of there, noped out completely. They do flip the point, but they have no presence to maintain it whatsoever.
Yeah, just sending both soldiers in, one going around the world as we watch Loopy trying his best and ultimately failing. They're sending both those soldiers around to the sniper. Maybe took a little bit too long, maybe a little bit too time consuming. Dowie getting forced in the back of that corner, a little bit alone with the soldier, but while that was happening, the rest of my project could safely remove the rest of Nunya and then come back to his rescue. And this is going pretty perfectly for my project. This is exactly how you want to start your map. As Uber comes in here, they get the better flash. Vanu getting Loopy down again. Af just taking that beam, taking space and forcing Nunya out. They just really can't get anywhere near this point right now to get any actual time onto it. Soldier jumping in gets denied very quickly. Scout gets denied as well. Soldier can't even get onto Dowie there, and Nunya, they're throwing the book at them, and it's just getting nothing.
It's working. It's working phenomenally well. Jordy also, by the way, switching to the scout here to really enable the sniper play to work. You don't need two soldiers when you've got two scouts and a sniper going on instead, and it's been working really well for my project. Nunya not finding the response to this at all so far. They keep sitting in their soldiers and just getting absolutely mulched by the double scout. Now the Ubers come across, they kill Kondok before you can even use any that he would have ever had, and it's just another nightmare for Nunya. They're not getting any point presence whatsoever. They don't even have a chance to finish this cap. At least they got it to the point they have, but they're not going to finish that. Bud just gets denied out of the air again by another sniper shot. It's just a nightmare situation for Nunya. They are getting dominated on every front right now. The soldiers are just feeding Af and Jordy. It is disgusting.
Yeah, I think I've seen CoF games where red team or the losing team has not got as much time, but this is probably one of the most brutal games. It just looked like nothing Nunya could do against this. So I'm wondering what they have to change up during this little bit of pre-round time, if they're going to do anything differently, how they can do anything towards Vanu right now, because this might be a quite quick 3-0.
Because like that's is tough, because the best way to counter the sniper when you have two soldiers is to just send both of them in, but then you get mulched by the scouts, and it's just a nightmare situation. Again, it's already unfolding before us. Bud gets taken down, and Gigi is in no position to do much either. Barely lives on the flank for the time being, will escape, but that's just them out of the equation for now. Jordy does get killed. Maybe that opens things up a bit for Nunya here, though. Gives him a little bit of a chance to have some room. It's enough for Gigi to get in. It's a nice rocket onto the sniper, but won't get the kill just yet. It's enough for the first cap. Go on the way of Nunya. But both teams have a maneuver waiting to be used, and they're trading some players before they even have to. But it's still favoring my project nonetheless. They already got so much cap time. That's another soldier just plucked out of the sky. And it's looking dicey for Nunya already. They lose another player there with Gigi going down as well as Connor escapes, and it's just not going all that well, is it?
No, I think they did really well buying space with the two soldiers, then definitely landing all of their shots. Loopy pretty much getting all of that cap time, but right now Uber trade coming in. Chappie getting very low and obviously gets left behind, and right now this is looking pretty devastating for Nunya. All of their players forced low or dead, and I think they're just going to have to leave right now. All the way out.
Always falling apart again and again. They're not finding anything. Maybe we're right. Maybe they do just suck ass on product, because they are not figuring out how to deal with this. It's certainly difficult. I'm not blaming them necessarily, but there has to be something they can do instead of just sending in the soldiers one by one over and over again. Gigi just dies again. A little bit of coordinated pressure now, trying to get across. Loopy running in with Bud behind. Gets a nice shot onto Dowie. That might be something to turn things around. Loopy just about sneaks in. It's enough for them to get the point off that as well. Unfortunately, my project is going to take it back immediately, but this is something. They have an Uber ad. They have something to work with. If Kondok can hang on to it and make use of it, perhaps this is Nunya's ticket to turn things around.
It feels a little bit more like monkeys and typewriters than it does a breakthrough right now. I know they will have this Uber ad. They need to get a concrete grip onto this round. They need to achieve something, and losing Loopy instantly is not the way to go. They do get Doey. They do get Jordy as well. Definitely a better middle of this. Soldier looks like he's going to be trapped in connector. Demo jumping in, can't quite get anything. But this is a lot better from Nunya. This needs to continue.
They make use of that Uber, and they find Doey crucially as well, meaning they keep their Uber ad in this game. They still have about 30% to work with, and they're even going for the forward hold. That's something you can't do with a sniper. That's been screwing my project a little bit, and now they're gonna have to figure out something different here. Pyro to bust the forward hold, certainly the good thing. Nice little reflector. There's a lot of damage right away. Opens things up beautifully on this grass side, and my project, only losing the Pyro for it, but busting the forward hold still makes things much easier for them to get through here. They find 2 soldiers in exchange, and even keep their medic in the game as well. So as long as they stay close in this, as long as they stay well, might have a chance here. Unfortunately for them, there's an Uber coming their way. Voxy wants to take this in immediately. It does hit a lot of damage here onto AF, but it's not going to have enough Uber to keep chasing onto Doey, who is going to keep that Uber of his alive. Now they have to worry, Nunya. Now they're not in a great position. They're still down on time, and crucially, is an Uber coming their way.
These holds where Nunya sends someone behind right now as GG does get the force in there. But they still have a demo trapped in a little bit of no man's land. My project walking forward, trying to get the point. Forced a little bit backwards, but that just gives time for Vanu to take pot shots at the rest of the enemy team. Nunya will keep the point for now. Soldier trying to do something. Can't quite get it. These plays by Nunya, where they're sending someone behind, really don't seem to be working this game.
Dude, they know Varnu's there. They're so scared. Okay, he only gets a body shot on the soldier. It's all or nothing with the classic. Either you get the kill or you will never get the kill. But that's still a lot of pot shot damage, you know? Like 135 like that, it doesn't go by you without nothing. It certainly still hurts. Jordy slips in as well. There's a little bit of damage to Kondok, who's now in a dicey position. Lots of pressure coming his way. AL exits cleaned up as well, though. And there's a cleanup onto Varnu. Again, Loopy doing what he does best on the flank. Manages to slip in as it's unattended. That makes a bit of a difference when you have one less player really looking at all sides, being a bit more tunnel visioned. And there's GG slipping in, gets the frag onto Doey. Crucial again to keep Nunya in this, and this is looking like a completely different team from the first round.
Yeah, this is a lot better from Nunya. Just stopping any ability to have this sniper is so useless when it has Ubered players into its face, when you can allow those soldiers to jump into it. Right now, Uber coming out will just stop any of this aggression. Shiny players cannot be shot. And eventually we should see Nunya taking this and bringing us to 1-1. Maybe they don't, so.
Yeah, maybe you can still teach an old dog some new tricks and keep themselves in this for the time being. Certainly looking a lot stronger. Finally finding the response to that classic sniper double scout combo that we're running on the side of my project for the time being, and we'll have to see if my project, if their strategy continues to work anyway, right? There's a chance it might just continue working, or they might just go back to the old trusted instead. No, they're still sticking with it. It's been working okay so far. They were getting caught out a bit on this last round, but perhaps they can just keep it rolling anyway. Or maybe Nunya finally have their number. Maybe they know everything about it now, and Varnu can no longer switch it up. But that's a nice little headshot to open things up immediately. Shappy out of the equation. I'm going to eat my words. I basically cursed him for that one. And that's going to allow so much more pressure across the point. Well, much rather it's going to force so much more pressure across the point from Nunya as they just send in everybody. And only Voxy and Kondok keep themselves. Try and get that Uber into the equation. They still have a bit of an ad to work with, but they've lost the point. They're down. I'm getting forward held as well. Certainly not looking great.
Yeah, really nice air shot and kills coming out from KN there. Oh my, Varnu. Okay, him as well. He's doing excellently. Forward hold trying to be broken right now. They've escaped it a little bit, but the breach is contained. 4 Nunya players go into the respawn queue. And my project, they've seemed really strong with this sniper when they have control, when they're running these rounds Nunya really only got so much when they got into that chaos, when they started to hold the reins again. Now we're going to see the Uber trade coming out. My project getting quite pushed around right now. Nunya trying to make some headway, and they do manage to break this forward hold, but Soldier up on top will be forced out. Let's see. Can Nunya continue this aggression? Can they get some point time? Or will this sniper rain death onto them? Demo trying to force out. Gets a lot of point presence. KN standing tall will finish off EG. Now it turns to my project to try and take the point back. Soldier jumping in.
Dicey, but they still have up on time as well, and they get so much pressure down immediately. Matter of fact, it's Kondok left in no man's land. He's got his one scout with him, who just about manages to escort him out, but that was looking dicey immediately again for Nunya. They get a little bit of control, they claw themselves to the point, and it immediately falls apart. Also, I was gonna say, as you mentioned, they're doing well with control. The sniper, it's like the classic sniper is an absolute scout-destroying weapon. Like, sure, you can do that with a normal sniper rifle too, but something about it, something about being able to no-scope one-shot scouts is just kind of nice, right? It feels good being able to delete them, and then that visceral explosion for some goddamn reason that thing explodes people as well. Just makes it seem so nasty. Anyway, Uber on the point. There you go. Both teams exchanging as they just claw themselves into there. Unfortunately, the players outside of the Uber, aka Loopy in this case, get caught. And now with the Uber fading, that's immediately Shappy into Giblets once more. Varnu in no man's land. No harm's way coming his way, as he's just gonna stay right up there, deny every sort of air and ground he possibly can, and maybe we're getting a nice showing for what this classic is really, really capable of, because people have been doubting it. People have been doubting it. Varnu's been singing its praises for quite a while, and it's showing. It's showing what it's capable of, as, again, so much time on the clock here for my project. That's Kondok out of the equation as well. Even if they get the point here for the side of Nunya, they're not looking so hot. Varnu on a 7-kill streak, just staying right in there. It's a beautiful weapon, isn't it?
It's a beautiful weapon until you're walking into it. Right now, it just seems like Nunya turning up to these fights already, losing a player or having to pop early because of this sniper, really being a thorn into them. Soldier jumps in, instantly mulched, and I think this is just a round, isn't it? Varnu gets himself an 8th, although Nunya, they do get 2, but it's looking quite rough. Just a scout left.
Trying his best there, Loopy, but unfortunately one scout against the world isn't going to do much. But might still have a work with it. Nope! Immediately just anti-air denied. You hear the classic go off. You see him stop. It just dead. Complete dead stop in the air. And that's the second round. Going the way of my project. They're on match point. Very well, looking like this is their map to win, and probably given every team that they may face in the playoffs every reason they can to never fight them on this map. But I guess we'll see how this goes.
Oh, 100%. I want to be nowhere near this Varnu sniper, especially with the classic. Let's see if this is going to be another repeat, or can Nunya tie this round again. Varnu still raining death. Voxy brought down to, I think, single-digit health there, as we watch Nunya trying to get something. They've elected for a sniper of their own. Varnu might have some competition, but he doesn't have to scope in. Maybe that's an advantage. Who knows right now, but I think we just get a ton of posturing, waiting for one of these snipers to hit somebody. Loopy trying to get this angle, can't quite get the shot. Meanwhile, Foxset took out of the server, frags going on to Nunya and the Foresight Uber as well. This is really looking like a bit of a repeat of the last few rounds.
Yeah, it's not looking great already. Though we were full Uber in his pocket instead, it's really going to be down to Loopy to not only win these sniper duels against Varnu like he does there. It's a nice drop shot on him, unexpected probably, but it's still a full Uber in the equation here. It does finally get popped off for the side of my project. They don't really find much of it. They do get the sniper at the end of the day. They find Kondog as well though, and that's the crucial thing. Even if that Uber was going to be completely terrible otherwise, they got their crucial target. Unfortunately now they lose Dowie, so it does still turn back around for Nunya. They're still not in control of the point though, and they are still far away from getting to it, as that's another Voxy traded out for KN. And Shabby pretty much the only one posturing forward together with the sniper now to see if they can get to that point. So still, even when they're slightly getting an upper hand, they're still not quite winning fast enough. They're still not quite finding what they need to. Loopy again, trying to go for that sniper duel. Not quite finding the shot that time. Varnu still having his number a little bit, and Chappie just getting caught on the point, out of position perhaps, eating a bit too much aggression. That's going to make it so much harder to stay on, like hang on to this point. They're only down 10 seconds on the clock, and it's already halfway capped again. There goes Bud as well, and it's just crumbling as quickly as it was built, as hastily as that point was taken under control. It fell out of their grasp again.
You try and deal with the sniper and the scouts will bite you like piranhas, and it's really shown again to affect Nunya, really forcing them back. No, Condog. KN does get traded. They can see if they can get Doey. Base of a scout right there will have to pop off as Uber, but this looks like a lot better. They can still keep everybody. Uber may have been lost, but people remain at 1 minute 30 on the clock already. Nunya needs something right here, something they haven't shown this whole series.
And this loopy sniper, he hasn't been getting what he needs to either, right? That's the annoying thing. He just hasn't been, like, he's a capable sniper, but he hasn't been getting the grounds he needs to. They're busting the forward hold now, getting through it a little bit, but they already lose Bud and Loopy again. You're trying to push out a forward hold, you lose 3 players for 1 demo pick? Make it 4, 5 actually. It's Condog Lone and he might die as well. It's shambolic. It is unbelievably terrible. It couldn't have gone any worse. Not only do you not bust the forward hold, you lose any sort of semblance of a chance you had with that medic going down as well. 50 seconds on the clock for my project. Spawn is coming up for Nunya. They just have to go. They have no choice but to get on that point stat. They have to get that point under control immediately. They have to get Doey's Uber out somehow without anybody dying to it. Not dying to Varnu. It's like skating on ice, and the ice is getting mighty thin.
Ice may be mighty thin, but they have done quite well here. They have got a lot of positioning. Only problem right now, they've got a soldier in a little bit of no man's land. And Nunya, they're gonna back off a little bit, taking the point here, but they will have a very long spawner right now, and that just Varnu hits another excellent shot. These players in the air, if he didn't have the achievement at the start of this game, he certainly had it now.
There's no way. There's just no way Jordy doubles back like that and just completely trunks Shappy. He's not been having a good match, but come on. That's just disrespectful. There's a little bit of a push here to try and get some Nunya players on the point, but it just isn't enough. They are getting sheltered, lockered, bullied, and that's a very, very dominant performance out of my project on a product again. And once more, I don't think anybody will ever want to play a team with Varnu on it, on product ever again. I think they've just delegated themselves. They played their hands too soon, but they've certainly secured themselves into the playoffs, because at this point, I don't think they can't not make it. And with just these few points under their belt, my project have secured themselves for the playoffs. And it's going to be an interesting one, because the rest of the playoff slots will be decided on Sunday. That being said, numbers. Logs.
Numbers. Logs. Let's have a look at some numbers, and I don't think much really needs to be said too much. Varnu going 21-4 is insane.
Disgusting.
Honestly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
He took 89 damage a minute. There's not much that needs to be said more than that. Of course, Af and Jordy doing a lot of damage, as much as Varnu is providing so much damage, so much utility for that team. Af and Jordy definitely being competent scouts and definitely being as much a part of this.
Yeah, as I mentioned, it's the sniper double scout tends to be the best way of running sniper on product, right? Because you're giving up a soldier at the end of the day, which on product is already not like super strong to begin with, and it shows with the performance of every soldier here, right? Yeah, sure, KN did pretty well, but I think a lot of that is also just off the back of the fact that his team was doing phenomenally well, right? So, like, giving up a soldier for the exchange of like a really powerful sniper, lots of sightlines and stuff, it's just always gonna suit you better. And you saw Nunya trying it. And to be fair, in the round where Loopy picked up the rifle, they did a bit better for a while, right? But they just took too long to get there. They couldn't figure out the counter to the double scout sniper because they just, for like 2 whole rounds, kept sending Gigi and Bud to die to nothing, to just get thrown into the meat grinder and see what happens. And it never worked out. And eventually they wisened up, but it just was too little too late, right? And it just shows how dominant this was. It's a one-sided match, and it shows in pretty much every metric.
Yeah, the amount of damage that people like Shappy, Bud, and Voxtec are taking just to get anywhere near that point was really just the end. Sniper really being the catalyst to all of this, and trying to counter snipe into it really doesn't solve the problem because you still can't get anywhere near the point until you take out the sniper, and then you've got to deal with those 2 scouts being so much of a thorn in their side. Positives though, maybe you don't have to play against this sniper. You know that if you do face these 2 in playoffs again, you can always just ban this map. I don't think you could see anything too similar on Bagel. I don't think.
No, there's not as many sightlines, and you don't get as much high ground either as a sniper, potentially. That's the big thing, right? The amount of high ground you get on your side on product, that just allows the sniper to have so much free reign. The point is, it is at the top of a hill, but there's so much high ground around it that just makes it so much harder to avoid the sniper at all costs. Meanwhile, on Bagel, yeah, you get like the little houses with almost no sightline, and that's about it. That's all you get around the point. So it's not going to work anywhere near the same. And it shows that they are definitely product specialists. They've got a strategy that will really make your head ring, give you a bit of a headache trying to deal with it, and it gets them to secure their playoff spot for the side of my project. So, Nunya's playoff fate isn't quite decided yet. They have an opportunity. They have a chance to get in. From my understanding, as long as Nandem gets less than 2 points, it's less than 1 point, they might still have a chance to get in on the side of Nunya. So if Jirachi wins both maps, even if one of them is a golden cap, there's a chance for Nunya to still make playoffs. However, if Nandem takes anything more than that, it's curtains. So it's down to that match on Sunday, I guess.
Yeah. I think you can get no better advertisement on whether you should watch that on Sunday. You definitely should do. I think that's the big one. I think Nandem do seem like they should be a little bit comfortable in that one, but it's TF2, it's season AFS, XL, 555, or whatever it's called. Anything could happen at this point, I think.
Yep, there's a lot of funky stuff that's been going on, but we're not gonna keep you. We're not gonna keep you for this too much longer. That's it from us for tonight. Check out the socials, all the usual stuff. You know, the links, the social medias. I'm sure people still love using those and aren't burnt out of the idea of an algorithm deciding what they see and whatnot. We're gonna see you again on Sunday. And until then, well, that's it, I suppose. Unless Auntie has any more closing words.
Nothing from me. Thank you for production, and thank you, Ben, for making the interesting facts for us all.